what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time, yes, I know that I am definitely late to the party on talking about this, but I've had a busy day, so I couldn't really do a video right away. But now, hey, here I am, and we could talk about this stuff. So, first of all, I'd like to say from the previous video, because they were talking about the Wave 3 Legacy stuff, that Crankcase does have the shoulder cannons. It's very tiny little things on the hinge that attaches to the backpack. You just basically flip it up and there it is. It's not really much of anything, but at least the reference is there, so I can give them credit for that. But we're going to focus mainly on the Studio Series stuff and a couple of the other core class figures coming out for Legacy, because those are the actual legitimate reveals. Now, we did hear some rumors and some listings about these figures, so it's not a complete surprise, but what is surprising is the fact that they actually took an event for Hasbro Pulse and actually showed some live action movie characters, because they don't do that normally. Usually they just post them on Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, here's these things. But no, they actually took the time and streamed these reveals, and that's pretty exciting. I think maybe the big reason why is because they knew that a lot of the figures had already been revealed either through SDCC or other means that I'm not going to talk about, but maybe that's why they were provoked into showing off what's coming out for Studio Series. I imagine most of this is coming next year, so hang tight, let's go ahead and talk about the figures. So, I'm gonna start off with Hot Rod. When I heard about Hot Rod, I was kind of concerned about it because I didn't want it to be a rework of the Lockdown figure. I'm not a big fan of it, it's just kind of clunky, especially with the backpack, so not my favorite thing, but I am so happy to say that Hot Rod seems to be a brand new mold. Now, this is obviously based on the Last Night, and funny enough, I do have the original version of the Hot Rod, which was a rework of the Lockdown figure. And yes, I do have the Stop the Time gun because I made it out of cardboard. And then they just decided to release this, and now he's got the Stop the Time gun. Now, he's still missing one of the weapons, but at the very least, he's got that. So I gotta give him credit. And I do like the blue paint applications they were able to apply to the gun. I do like the orange streaks on the windows, and then you can see that on the side of the bottom. Much like the Lamborghini Alt Mode that he shows off in the film, so that's all good. And yeah, I will say that the spoiler is a little high up when you actually see it in the movie, but aside from that, I mean, that looks like a really good looking Lamborghini. And then we take a look at the robot mode, and the robot mode actually looks really good. The feet kind of remind me of the off-road Bumblebee and how flat that is, but aside from that, I think he looks fantastic. Now, someone did make a comparison and did show off that he's not entirely accurate, but with Studio Series, it's really hard to do, so I can't really blame them. But I like the proportions. I think it's a lot better looking than the original toy, and you also get the little wings that rest down. I thought that was kind of cool. I think the coloring is appropriate, the time gun still looks good. The face is definitely ugly, but it's always going to be ugly, so, you know, I can't really blame them for that. I will say that when the guy held the figure, it looked really small, like really tiny. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I gotta say that I think he'll be a fun toy, so I'm excited. Anyways, moving on, we also have Crosshairs. Now, this is another one that I was excited to see. And I think that the alt mode for the Corvette looks fantastic. I think it's a stellar looking design. The black and the green contrast well. I think that looks good. The shaping is alright. I will say that the spoiler does look big, but I think in the Last Night he had a bigger spoiler, so I can't really say anything about that. He does have silver rims, which is nice, and yeah, he definitely has the shape. I'm liking the alt mode. As far as the robot mode is concerned, I can't really say the same for it. It just looks very slimmed down, and I'm not sure about the color of green, and then the front of the tailcoat that he has in the movie just doesn't really look right. I feel like there should be more black, and I feel like overall there should be more gunmetal, and the green is just off. It should be a deeper green like this. I have the original toy, and I'm fine with that. Now, I did also see the kibble alignment on the back. Now, I understand why he has the kibble droop down. That's actually appropriate, but it just seems like it's a little much even then, because you got the wheels poking out of the side, which they had to put that on the shoulders for the original toy, so basically it's just trying to get that out of the way. But when you look at the tailcoat, you will see that the front grille is folded up, and I just feel like that looks weird to me. when we saw the side profile, because they posted it on Instagram, I just feel like I'm going to fold that down. I feel like having that rested down is going to look a lot better. But yeah, I think mainly the green color is what's really putting me off. I'm not liking that. Yes, you can move the tailcoat, the front part, out of the way, so that's pretty cool. I like the fact that it's got a little bit of articulation. I think that's nice. The weapons are cool. The head sculpt looks really good. But yeah, I feel like this one could have been done better. It's not the greatest. I might still get it because, you know, Studio Series and stuff, but eh. But what I will say is this. With The Last Night in Age of Extinction, I think this is the perfect time for them to dive into that, because with the original trilogy, it's not like they're stopping with those figures. But what I like about these is The Last Night in Age of Extinction has had some distance between now and when the original toys were released, because when we got the Cogman, they just repainted it, as well as I think a couple of other figures that kind of did the same thing. But nowadays, you can go back and retread the figures and do them much better. So I wouldn't mind. Maybe Last Night Optimus Prime would be pretty cool. I think that'd be nice. But yeah, my feelings on Crosshairs could have been better. Would like to see a different color of green. Hopefully it's better in person, but right now, not my favorite. Alright, I'm going to touch up on Ironhide a little bit because we didn't really get a full announcement on that, but I think he looks cool. I'm still on board with it. I like the design, so I'm totally fine. I like the van, and then I love the robot mode, and I love the fact that he's got 2 guns instead of the 1, which we had assumed earlier. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, they're gonna make a Ratchet out of this eventually. I don't know anyone who actually thinks that we're not gonna get a Ratchet. I'm pretty sure we are. Anyways, moving right along, we also have the Leader Class figure, which is something that people have been anticipating for quite a while. The Fallen. We have been hearing rumors about the Fallen for quite some time, and it is super awesome to see him. Now, his alt mode is definitely weird, because they just kind of threw this together. It's more based on the toys than it is any of the concept or what was seen in the movie. I know some people said, oh, well, for a split second, you could see him in his alt mode far away in Egypt as he's teleporting, and I'm like, no. But yeah, this is the alt mode they decided to make, and I actually do like the front section. I do find the sides kind of weird. I kind of like how the spear's attached, but not really, because it just kind of feels slapped on. It looks like something from Independence Day, and I'm kind of into that, but it's just something to throw together to give him an alt mode so they can transform into something. As far as the robot mode is concerned, that is the key focus, and it looks fantastic. I love how the dual spears can attach as to give them something different. I kind of like that. I like the face, and you can actually take off the face. We've seen that previously. I think the colors are nice. I like the blue addition on the neck area and then the chest. I think that's nice. Just give them something to pop. And then you could also see the orange, the burning glow throughout the toy, so that's pretty cool. I think that the design of the legs is good because considering that the original toy had this weird gimmick where you put it down and then the feet spread out, it was really weird and a lot of people didn't like that. I think this is much better and you get some foot articulation on that, so that's pretty cool. Overall, I'm so happy about this because this is the big name character. Revenge of the Fallen, and then you skip out the Fallen, but you do Devastator. Well, maybe Devastator was too much to focus on, so they couldn't really do the Fallen, but I don't know. I mean, they did Jetfire, so there's that. But I'm excited for that. As well, we also had some other reveals. This is the core class, and yes, they're calling it Rumble. I don't care what you call it. You could call it Frenzy, Rumble, Skids and Mudflap. I don't really care. But this is Rumble, and we get to see the cassette form, which it does fit into Soundwave. This is a core class figure, but I love the fact that the robot mode can use the typical blasters. It's got the same articulation as the cassette that comes with Blaster. I meant to say you could put it in Soundwave if I didn't say that correctly. But you could put that in Soundwave, and it seems to be a rework of at least the design scheme of the one that comes with Blaster. But then you also have the pile drivers. I love that, and I knew they were going to do the pile drivers because if this was going to be a core class, it needs something else. So I'm very happy about that. The colors look right. I think this looks really cool. Now, before I dive into the last but not least reveal, I also wanted to point out that yes, they are going to reissue the original Soundwave figure. We kind of knew about that. We heard listings about it. So if you missed out on the Kingdom Core Class Soundwave, don't miss out this time because it's a really good figure. Now, We've had some Pretender figures, and we figured out that the Energon Monster listings that we heard about for quite a while are actually going to be the Pretenders, because when you look at the listings and what was actually revealed, it seems to line up properly. Well, we've got another one, and it is in the form of Bomb Burst. Now, first of all, I love the all mode. I like that they're going with the original jet form of the original Pretender core class, or core figure, I should say, which is very similar to what Iguanus is doing, and I like that, because it's just something different. I like the change up. But what's really cool is the fact that the wings plug onto the side and those form blasters. And then not only that, take a look at the robot mode. Again, much like the Iguanus figure, you basically transform him and reveal a monster, and he looks fantastic. It does look kind of weird that he's wielding a clamp, or at least it looks like a clamp, but I love the blasters on the side. I think the head sculpt looks kind of cool. It kind of looks adorable at the same time, but I'm fine with it. And then the chest with the right colors, and he's a core class figure. I love core class, so I'm on board with this. But not only that, we actually had a listing that this was going to be a repack later, which had listings for the core class Dinobots, Bludgeon, whatever else, a Prime Skyquake, I believe, or Dreadwing, was it? No, it was Skyquake, and then various other characters. So this figure kind of confirms that listing going on. So I'm excited for that. What do you guys think? Please comment below, let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.
AllSpark TV. Now that's just prime.